Hey, what up? It's Tampa Brad, back at you with law number, let me think if I can get this arrangement right, 21, is that right? Am I under 2-1? Yeah, 21. Of 48 laws of power, play a sucker to catch a sucker. Seem dumber than your mark. So this law draws a lot on lessons learned from con artists, and over centuries, con artists have conned many very smart on paper people out of a lot of money. And the way they did it is by essentially allowing people to underestimate them. That's what this law draws on, is the power that lies in allowing someone to underestimate you and think more highly of themselves. People have a tendency to want to think highly of themselves. They enjoy thinking highly of themselves. They enjoy thinking, oh, I know everything. What could this guy possibly have in as far as knowledge that I don't? And when you take advantage of that, it allows you to it almost allows for social arbitrage to happen, if you can think of it that way. In stock trading, arbitrage is when there's a price differential and you buy low and you sell high quickly. You can do the same thing socially if you allow people to think that they are smarter than you, and they might legitimately be smarter than you, but the reality of the fact actually doesn't even matter. As long as they think that you are less intelligent than them, you actually have an advantage because you'll be consistently underestimated. So the biggest example that the author Robert Greene uses in this chapter is that of these guys, Slack and Green, I think are their last names. And so they were prospectors, miners, during the gold rush of, I think, the 1930s maybe, in California and in the western states. And they bought this plot of land in Wyoming, and they owned the mining rights to this big plot of land. It was cheap because nobody really thought there was much going on, but the gold rush was going on to their south, and there was a lot of activity out in that area, buying up big plots of land, finding big gold and diamond mines and stuff like that. So they go around and they start digging whatever, and they call in this expert, this mining expert, and they bring him through this big circular path so that he can't find his way back, which is fair. You know, they don't want him to know necessarily where their mine is, but they take the mining expert out, bring him over to the plot of land and start digging, and they dig up all these rough cut diamonds, these diamonds that came out of the earth. And so the the expert is like, oh wow, geez, that's a lot of diamonds. Brings them back to have them appraised by Tiffany in New York. Mr. Tiffany, I don't know what his actual name is. The guy that started Tiffany's in New York has him appraise the diamonds. He says they're real. And so they're like, wow, shit, this is a huge diamond mine if you just dug down 2 feet and found this many big diamonds. So what they do is they set out a contract for the purchase of the land. They say, hey, we're going to put $300,000 in escrow, which consider in 1930, it's a lot of money, especially for two hayseed prospectors. And so they put $300K in escrow, and they say you get $300K when the sale is completed. But in order for the sale to be completed, we need to go out with more experts, and we need to verify the legitimacy of the mine. So they give them the $300K in escrow, and so they take another trip back out, and Arnold and Slack meet them out there. And so they're going through whatever, they take the big circular path again so they can't find their way back to it. And this time there's the Rothschilds and a bunch of other big bankers who were investing in the project, in actually buying the mine, because they'd formed like a $10 million corporation to do it. So they take all the investors back out to the mine, and then they dig up even more gems. They dig up rubies, sapphires, and most of all, tons of diamonds. They dig a couple feet down and are really finding a lot of diamonds. It doesn't have to be that much, but they found a lot in terms of how many square feet of area that they dug up. So the experts verify the legitimacy of the gems. They're all legit, they're real. And so they say, I think you have found the most profitable diamond mine in the history of the earth. I guarantee that every 30 days, based on the number of rocks that we dug up, you will send out $1 million worth of diamonds every 30 days. So that being known, the the prospectors make a little bit of a fuss about it. They're like, hey, this is even better than we thought. We need to get more money. And then the bankers convince them, no, you don't want to be a partner in this. That's what they're asking for, is a partnership. And they say, no, you don't want to be a partner in this, because these unscrupulous business people, they're going to take advantage of you. You're going to wind up getting fleeced out of it. Do you really want to go into business with the Rothschilds? You should just take the money and call it. And so, they think about it for a couple days, and finally they decide, okay, we'll take the money, and we'll just call it good. So they finalize the sale, clean, they get their money, they have their 600K, split it, and it turns out that the mine was completely fake. There were no diamonds, no rubies, no sapphires, no emeralds, nothing. It was just dirt. So what happened was, between the time when they got the 300 grand in escrow, which was money that was available to them in small deposits, Arnold and Slack actually went to Amsterdam and they bought sacks of rough cut gems and diamonds, so sapphires, rubies and diamonds. And they brought them back and they had scattered them throughout the mine, buried them, all stuff like that, so that when they went back, they made it look even richer than before. And so the interesting thing about this con is that Arnold and Slack operated completely independently. A lot of con artists will set up people who are planned interactions, and they'll have, 5, 10, 15, 20 people in on a con who all play their part to bring the mark from the starting point to the finish line. But what Arnold and Slack did, which is very unique, is that they just depended on themselves. All the experts, all the diamond appraisers, all the mining experts, they were all legitimate. The investors were all legitimate people, like the real Rothschild people were there. And so what Arnold and Slack did is they drew on this law of seeming dumber than your mark. They acted up the part of being the dumb country rubes that everyone expected them to be, and they played the part to perfection, regardless of what the actual information in the back of their mind was. They played their role to perfection. They acted like the country bumpkin hayseeds. So when they went to New York, because when they went to have the diamonds appraised at Tiffany's in New York, Arnold and Slack went with them. Arnold and Slack wore jackets that were 2 sizes too big. They wore 2 of the same shoe. They wore pants and shirts that didn't match at all. Their shirts were partially untucked. They just looked ridiculous. And what they did is they solidified the idea that they were lesser than the investors. So the investors stopped evaluating whether it was even possible for them to be taken advantage of by these guys. All they saw is 2 marks, and they were like, boom, those are our guys. That's where we're buying our land from. These guys, what do these guys know? Like, how could they possibly bargain for a better price? They're just 2 country bumpkins. So Arnold and Slack used that to their advantage, and you can do the same thing. If you can put your ego to the side, I'm reading another book right now, well, rereading, I've read this book many times, but it's called Ego is the Enemy by Ryan Holiday. And in that book, Ryan Holiday explains that if you can put your ego to the side, it allows you to do the things that will afford you the greatest benefit in your life. It is ego that drives us away from the things that we should be doing. We get caught up in accolades and looking cool and worrying what other people think about us, when in reality, if we could put that to the side and not worry about what people think about us, we could actually take action in the most effective way possible. So you need to evaluate in your own life, where am I letting my ego control what I do, and where could I actually draw back and not feel the need to reach and to make myself look like I'm cool and be like, I'm cool, guys, don't you see me? I'm cool. Because nobody likes to try hard. Everybody likes the person who lays back, they're just themselves, they're self-confident. They might even allow someone to make them look dumb and not sweat it, because in the long term, that person knows they're gonna win out, and they're gonna wind up being the person who's seen after time plays itself out. They're gonna be seen as, the genius or the hardworking one or whatever they are actually doing behind the scenes. I heard a saying recently, and it's that the most confident people are also the most quiet people. Confidence is not loud. And although you can be loud and also confident, it has to be coming from a place of deep security. And you can tell, you can always tell when someone's being loud because they want attention and because they're actually insecure, versus someone who's just loud because the opportunity is there and the situation calls for it, but they're also simultaneously extremely confident at the same time. It's not coming from a place of lack, it's coming from a place of abundance. So on that note, your action is to evaluate where you are letting ego get the better of you and where you are not allowing this law to benefit you. Try playing dumber than you actually are. See how it works. If you play, no need to be win-lose, as always with these videos. No need to be win-lose and try to take advantage of someone by doing this. That's not what this vibe is about. This is more about just you getting the most out of life. But if someone wants to feel like they're smarter than you, let them feel like they're smarter than you. It will work for you in the long run. If you don't make other people feel dumb, and in fact you make other people feel smart around you, what do you think that's going to do for their willingness to hang out with you, or to send you business, or to connect you to someone that you asked to be introduced to? It's going to go way up. I personally make it a point to always try to humble myself in front of someone else, and I would highly suggest that you do the same, and I think you'll be stunned at the benefits that come out of it. I know in my life I've seen that I've been able to make connections with people that frankly I would have never thought would even want to talk to me, and they're enthused to make my acquaintance and be around me. And I might lose some opportunities because I'm not flashy, but the ones that I gain because I'm not flashy, I'm flashy in some circumstances. I do the whole clap, hey, what up, it's Tampa Brad thing. But in most circumstances, I'm actually quite reserved, and I kind of keep to myself, and I speak when I feel it's appropriate. So I found that a lot of people value that, and the important people value other people who are wise and judicious with their words. So that's what I'm aspiring to, and I would encourage you to at least try it on. It's like a shoe. You know, try it on. If it doesn't fit and it isn't comfortable for you, don't use it, but you might as well try the freaking shoe on. You know what I mean? Like, don't just not try the shoe on because you assume that it won't fit. Try it. Try the freaking shoe. So that's your task and mission for this week. Try the shoe of seeming dumber than your mark. Let other people think that they're smarter than you. Even if you're a genius, let other people feel smart. See what it does for them and see how you feel about doing that. Thank you for watching. If you have not already, be sure you hit the subscribe button below and then hit the bell next to it. If you don't hit the bell, you're not going to see any of my videos, because without the bell being hit, your YouTube feed is just being flooded with new videos and you don't get any notifications that I'm dropping new shit. So if you like it, subscribe, bell. You can also follow me on Instagram. I'm at Tampa Brad there. That's where, you know, if you DM me over there, I will respond. I'm a normal person. I have like 1,000 followers. So I'm a normal person. I respond to all my DMs, and I would love to talk to you. So thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next vid. Peace.